From the 1011 Now Alert Center,
This is the Night Beat.
sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Good evening and thank you for joining me. I'm Jessica Blum with your headlines for Wednesday, February 4th. First, a family desperate for answers. A Lincoln man missing for a week. Police now investigating. The family, friends, and loved ones of 27-year-old Harrison Shores are desperately searching for answers after the generous, kind-hearted Lincoln man disappeared while on his way to work a week ago today. Harrison Shores lives with his girlfriend of nearly a decade, Lindsay Selting. Earlier this afternoon, surrounded by Harrison's siblings and both their parents, Selting said through tears she's been inconsolable since the love of her life went missing. Selting describes Harrison as the best person she's ever met, and that meeting him changed her world for the better. The two woke up on their couch together Wednesday morning, Selting going to bed and later hearing Harrison getting ready for work. But he never made it to his job at Sandhills Global. The 5'10", 175-pound man was last seen in his navy blue suit, black tie, and tan dress shoes that morning at a Phillips 66 gas station near 14th and Old Cheney, and a Jet Splash car wash near 27th and Superior between 9 and 9:20 a.m.
I would obviously tell him that I love him. I would tell Harrison that we all need him to be safe. We need to see him. We need to find him.
Shores was last seen driving a navy blue Ford Edge with a Nebraska license plate ARF 611. And now to an update in the case of a malnourished 12-year-old boy who police say was tortured for several months. The boy's guardian, Angela Lowe, was arrested last week. Police have now made 2 more arrests in the case. Lowe's husband, Joseph, and her daughter, Mackenzie. Both appeared in court this afternoon. Joseph and Watkins are being charged with child abuse, assault, and imprisonment. The judge set both of their bonds at $750,000. According to court documents, Joseph and Watkins were aware that Angela was locking the boy in his bedroom and withholding food from him for extended periods of punishment. Despite living in the home, Watkins told police she had not seen the boy in over 3 months, according to an affidavit. Their next court date will be in early March. Students at a local high school walked out of school this morning protesting ICE and U.S. immigration policies. LPS believes 200 to 300 students walked out of Southeast High School today to protest immigration enforcement and the killings of Alex Preddy and Renee Good. We spoke to 2 students who put out social media posts encouraging students to join them in their walkout, and they were amazed with how many students joined them.
I didn't think we were going to get this much support, and it just shows how strong of a topic this is to people and how people feel about it, like seeing everybody's signs and everybody who followed us for as long as they did, people still out here, like, just means a lot.
Students started the walkout at around 9:50 and continued marching around the neighborhood and school for about an hour and a half. Lincoln Southeast did send an email to families saying, "Our schools are focused on providing a normal learning environment for all students. While they are not sponsored by our school nor the district, we cannot stop a student from exercising their First Amendment right and walking out as long as they are not disruptive to others." The trial for Christopher Mielke, the Beatrice man accused of killing his partner and holding his 2 children hostage back in September 2024, officially began today at the Gage County Courthouse. The court has been selecting a jury for the past 2 days, but began opening statements this morning. Mielke is accused of killing his partner, 52-year-old Tammy Leslie, at their home in Beatrice in September of 2024, and faces a first-degree murder charge, while with 2 counts of kidnapping, among other charges. State prosecutors began their statements today by laying out the timeline of events for the jury and how Mielke's children were involved. They say Mielke's son was in the home at the time of the killing and heard what happened. They also allege that Mielke confessed what he had done to his daughter before holding the 2 of them inside the home until law enforcement were contacted to come rescue them. Mielke has pleaded not guilty. His defense says there's 2 sides to every story and that some of the details don't line up.
What I'm asking you to do is be patient. Keep an open mind. Remember, there are two sides to every story, that only one's been told.
The state will ask you to find the defendant, Christopher Mielke, guilty on all charges. Because Tammy Leslie deserves justice, because her children deserve protection, because the defendant took their mother, and then he took their freedom.
After opening statements, state prosecutors then went into witness testimony where they heard from the 911 dispatcher who took the calls from Mielke's daughter and a concerned acquaintance that led law enforcement to the home. The entirety of those calls was also played in court for the jury. We'll have more details from the trial in this story up on our website, and we'll be sure to update you when the jury reaches a verdict. In health news, the Lincoln-Lancaster County Health Department confirming that measles was detected in wastewater again last week. That sample was picked from the Teresa Street Water Facility, and notably, it was not detected in samples collected last Friday, but earlier that same week. We reached out to the health department today, who says it takes about 3 days to get those samples back. The health department says they will keep monitoring the wastewater samples closely and are still encouraging people to get vaccinated. You can find more information tied to this story on our website, 1011now.com. Now to an update on a story we first brought you yesterday. In total, the Lincoln Animal Control and the Capital Humane Society rescued 92 cats from what they are calling a hoarding case. They are now working on getting them the proper vet care and figuring out where to put them all. According to the Capital Humane Society, only 2 dead cats were found. The 92 recovered are now spread out across the Capital Humane Society's multiple locations, filling up emergency cases they had in case of an overflow like they're experiencing now. The Humane Society says around 45% of those cats have some sort of respiratory infection and are being treated for that, along with issues like fleas, but all are expected to make a recovery. Nearly a half dozen of them will likely be available for adoption within the next few days, so look out for that, adding to the long list of cats already in need of a home as well.
Right now, obviously, with this number of cats that have come in a short amount of time, we need to make some space in the shelter. So all of the cats and kittens that are already up for adoption that are not part of this hoarding case, we need to find homes for them so that we can free up some space at our adoption center.
The Capital Humane Society is over capacity at this point, and with that, they are running a special this week into the weekend to hopefully get some furry friends adopted. So if you go in and adopt a friend, adoption fees will be reduced by 50% until this Sunday to help get more pets out the door. In Husker football news, a Nebraska coaching tenure lasts less than 3 weeks. Miles Taylor, who was hired in mid-January, is now leaving without ever coaching a game or even official practice. Taylor joined Matt Rule's staff as the Huskers' new safeties coach. However, he's now taking a position in the NFL. Taylor becomes the Baltimore Ravens assistant defense backs coach, and with the Ravens, he reunites with Jesse Minter. The two coached together this past season with the Los Angeles Chargers. And a former Husker standout gets a big promotion. Brett Maher is being elevated to special teams coordinator. Maher spent this past season working under Mike Eckler. He helped the Husker kickers and punters, both positions in which he played, during his all-conference career. Maher will share special teams coordinator responsibilities with Nick Humphrey. Both were on staff last season. And finally tonight, and rounding out your night beat, is a check of the 7-day forecast. Significantly warmer for tomorrow. We'll lose the clouds too early in the day. There will be a northwesterly breeze at times, but we're looking at an air mass coming from the western portions of Canada and originating from a very warm region being brought into Nebraska. So a high near 50 degrees tomorrow, slightly cooler, but still above average for the end of this week, and then more widespread 60s to end the weekend into early next week, while Monday getting close to record territory. The record for that date, 68 degrees back in 1954. For now, we have a forecast high of 65 degrees.
You've been listening to The Night Beat.
Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Watch, listen, and stream on the 1011 app on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.